This is a ball shooter application created at Chippewa Valley Technical College in Eau Claire by Kyle, Logan, and Dina. In this application, we are using 3 PLCs, which are the Automation Direct PLCs. We have 1 primary and 2 secondary PLCs. The primary PLC is controlling a ball shooter that will shoot a ball 5 times. Once the 5th time is complete, the ball will stay at the top of the ball shooter. We have a secondary PLC that is controlling a second ball shooter that will do the same thing. The ball will shoot 5 times, and once the ball is on the 5th shot, it will stay at the top of the ball shooter. Another secondary PLC we are using is controlling a variable frequency drive, which is the Automation Direct GS2. The frequency drive is controlling the motor that will turn it on and off. So in this program, we start with the primary PLC, and it is telling the first ball shooter to turn on. The ball shooter will shoot 5 times and stay at the top when it's complete. When it is done shooting, it will send a signal to the secondary PLC, which will send a signal to the GS2 to tell the motor to turn on and ramp up to 40 hertz. Once the motor is at 40 hertz, the secondary PLC will send a signal back to the primary PLC, which will then send a signal to the other secondary PLC controlling the second ball shooter. It will tell that ball shooter to shoot 5 times, and on the 5th time, it will keep the ball at the top. Once that is complete, the secondary PLC will send a signal back to the other secondary PLC that will send a signal to the GS2 drive to tell the motor to stop. Once the motor is completely stopped, it will send a signal to the primary PLC that will send a signal to the secondary PLC that's controlling the other ball shooter, and both ball shooters will shoot the ball simultaneously 5 times. And once that is complete, the application is done. We also have 3 e-stops that are wired in that will stop the application at any time during the process if there is an issue. So here is an example of the program running. Here is the first ball shooter shooting the ball. It's 5 times. And the ball stayed at the top. Now the motor is running at 40 hertz, which now the secondary ball shooter is shooting the ball 5 times. Once it's at the top, the motor will now turn off, and now both ball shooters are shooting simultaneously for the 5 times. Now we will move over to our PLC program. This is the primary program that is running the primary PLC. We have a few send and receive instructions, which is making the PLCs able to communicate. We are also using event-based drum instructions for the ball shooters. The secondary PLC also has a drum instruction, and the third PLC program does not have any drum instructions. It is only controlling the motor to turn on and off. If we had more time during this application, we would have programmed a stop and start button into each PLC to be able to pause the program at any time if there was an issue. The start button would be to start the program back up where it left off, and but we just didn't have enough time to start that. This concludes our application. We hope you enjoyed the video.